Hey guys, Scott here with a small discussion video talking about useless add-ons and how the devs just keep adding them, and a lot of them are iridescent for some reason. There's been a whole trend lately with wanting to have add-ons do less, which I respect. I like that a lot. I think Demogorgon is a good example of add-ons that change some things, but they don't make them broken or anything like that. Whereas like Old Hillbilly or, Huntress with like iridescent head, those are add-ons that just like make the killer like broken as shit. And that's not a good idea. So I like they're making, or they're trying to make killers less add-on reliant. That's cool. But the thing is, they're starting to do it too much to the point where a lot of their add-ons literally do nothing. And sometimes the add-ons that they have are actually a detriment to put on. They're like remove-ons. Like, for example, like Oni, Renjiro's Bloody Glove. On almost every map except like some indoor, like the game or something like that with a specific stealth build, Renjiro's Bloody Glove actually makes the Oni weaker. And it's an iridescent add-on. And this is a trend that they've kind of like stuck with. They're scared to make good iridescent add-ons now. And I understand because like something like Iridescent Head is broken as shit and still needs to be nerfed, so they're scared of that. And I understand that. But although I understand that iridescent add-ons are supposed to change how a killer plays, not just improve something, they need to still improve something. It's an iridescent add-on. Just changing something is not good enough in my opinion. It needs to change something and improve it. Or, change your playstyle, but make the playstyle objectively stronger. For example, I know this is not an iridescent, but like a tombstone piece is an example of like what I think would be a good iridescent add-on. Because it does change your gameplay. It takes much longer to stalk, and now suddenly you're not just wanting to down people, you can instantly kill somebody. That's like a huge thing, and that's like it changes how the killer is played. And that's the kind of stuff that I like. Okay, I get it, that's cool, but the things that they're doing now, it seems like they're too scared to do anything impactful anymore. And I think that fear is making a lot of these add-ons very, very boring or just bad. And I don't know. This is a discussion video. I'm not sure if that's really a good or bad thing, because I do think having overly strong add-ons are equally as dumb as having add-ons that do nothing or make your killer worse. So finding a balance is good. But these are the new add-ons from the Hillbilly on the PTB, and some of them are okay, and some of them make absolutely no sense. And I know before I start complaining about these add-ons, I know it's a PTB. I know these are not going to be added to the game necessarily. I'm just concerned the thought process in the developer's head, even thinking that things like this are a good idea. Like, there is no discussion ever where they think this add-on right here is a good idea, ever, as a rare add-on too. So let's go over this. This is a new add-on for the Hillbilly. It's called Mother's Helpers. Increases your movement speed by 0.02 meters a second when a flashlight is shining on you. So you go from 4.6 to 4.8. That's... I'm not sure the exact math on it. I think it's like a 10% increase. I'm not actually sure. It's a very, very, very minor increase. 5% increase, actually. Yeah, I think it's like Bloodlust 1, right? It's a very, very minor increase. And having, movement speed increases have to be minor because movement speed is like tied to the entire balance of the game. Knowing how many loops you can get around something is tied exactly to knowing the movement speed of the killer, the survivor, and stuff like that. So movement speed is something that has to remain pretty consistent throughout, the entire game. So I get, when you have something that changes your movement speed, it needs to be very minimal, or it's going to be broken, like way too strong. However, the requirement for getting this bonus is so asinine that this add-on literally doesn't do anything. It does something for like rank 20s, I guess. And I think that's a problem, is that they keep trying to like make the game more and more accessible to those players. That's a whole nother conversation. So the reason this add-on does literally nothing is because every time a flashlight is being shined at you, not every time, 99% of the time, you're locked in an animation. You're kicking a pallet, you're picking somebody up or something like that. Those are the only actual effective times to use the flashlight. When a killer is chasing you, you don't just shine a flashlight at their face. It doesn't do anything. You just look down and then you die immediately. It does literally nothing. And that's the only time this add-on would do anything. This is a rare add-on that only works when the survivor is a rank 20 that doesn't know what flashlight does and just like shines and backs up. Side point, that's my favorite thing in the game, when like a rank 20 meg just like backs up slowly with the crouch as you're chasing them. Just like, I love that shit. That's my favorite shit ever. But, once you play the game more than 15 minutes, you realize that doesn't do anything. And now this add-on, this rare add-on is completely useless. It doesn't do anything. So again, my complaint is not with the add-on itself. It's how I'm so concerned with the thought process of the devs that they thought even coming up with something like this was anything. Like, that's the concerning part. The add-on is not concerning. It's the thought behind the add-on itself that makes me go, they just have no idea what they're talking about. Like, this is not something any logical person would put on as a brown add-on. I would never, ever use this. It doesn't do anything. And there are, another one. Here, I'll just make this a bit smaller here. The iridescent one. The low pro chains or whatever. Like, it doesn't... It doesn't... Okay, so let's go over what it actually does. Low pro chains, basically, you don't stop at pallets anymore. You chainsaw through pallets and keep going. On paper, that sounds really cool and scary. But when you think about the actual logistics of how a pallet is dropped and where the pallet is dropped, this won't really do that much. Because, for example, you're on like you're on Blood Lodge or whatever. You're at one of those, just junk tile loops or whatever. Just the ones that scatter all the middle of the map. So, you do some chainsaw baiting, you rev it, they drop the pallet, and then your chainsaw's ready, and then you break the pallet and go through and start chasing. The thing is, though, they've already turned in a direction that you're not going to be able to turn anymore. Like, there are very few examples of a pallet that when you drop, you still have to keep running straight. And that's the only time you would actually get a hit with this add-on. I'm thinking of like the game near the basement, those pallets, you pretty much have to run straight back. There's nowhere to like turn. So like those kind of pallets, you can maybe get a chainsaw hit directly through it. And that's it. Like every other scenario, when you drop a pallet, the survivor can immediately turn right or left. So even if you go through it, you're going to have to go through a small braking animation first. And then by that point, they've turned. They've turned away and you're not going to be able to actually chainsaw hit them anymore because you're past the point where you can do your the sensitivity flick now. So as long as they don't just run in a straight line away, you get nothing from this. It doesn't do anything. So already it's ineffective. However, then there's a fucking speed limiter attached to it too, which makes no sense. This would be okay as an iridescent add-on without any downside, but then they throw a speed limiter on top of it. Like, I don't understand how you could possibly ever think that that's an idea that does anything. Like, there's no scenario where this add-on will ever be that this will always be a detriment to put on. It just fucking boggles my mind. And his other iridescent add-on, it also doesn't really do anything. The only time his iridescent add-on has any use is on big maps with lots of, big open maps with like a straightaway that there's nothing. You can get to one side, like Rotten Fields. This add-on will be really cool on Rotten Fields. Maybe like Azeroth's resting place too, with like a big straight shot with no interruptions. There's like, I can think of like 3 or 4 maps in the game where this add-on might actually be kind of useful. But I don't think you realize how long 5 seconds of a chainsaw sprint is without being able to like, account for trees or, 8,000 things in the way. 5 seconds of a chainsaw sprint is a long time, during which they can hear your terror radius the entire time. It's not until you get that 5 seconds that they know. And even then, you can still hear the chainsaw across the map. So if you hear any chainsaw like the zzz going on for 5 seconds, just assume that the killer has no terror radius for a minute. Or, until the chainsaw sound effect stops. So even to just slightly attentive players, this doesn't fucking do anything. It's so map dependent. I'm just complaining a lot now. My point is they keep making add-ons that don't really do anything or actually make the killer worse. And then they're the highest rated add-ons. The weirdest part about these new Billy add-ons is most of his best add-ons are like gray or yellow. Like this stuff, this is all good. It's improvements to his ability, like reduces the overheat limit, decreases the recovery time, increases the steering, the cooling rate. Like all these yellow add-ons are actually like useful. Even decreases terror radius by 8 meters when the chainsaw's overheating. Like, all this stuff is actually like, okay, that's actually pretty useful. Like, I could see, doing something with that. But then they have, like, the rarer add-ons that don't do anything or make your killer worse. It just doesn't make any sense. It might be more of a complaint about them putting rarities of items that, like, these should be common and these should be, like, rare or anything like that. But I guess that's it. There's been an overall trend on making add-ons that make no fucking sense lately, and I just don't understand why that's happening. It indicates that the devs have very little concept of how killers are played or what they do and stuff like that. So, I guess it's just a mini rant video. I don't understand. I don't understand these changes. I don't know why they did this to Hillbilly. I agree. Hillbilly needed a nerf. Carburetor tuning guide, Thompson mix combo, Crack Billy with Doom engravings and stuff like that. Very strong, bordering on overpowered strong. I would have had no problem with those add-ons getting nerfed because, frankly, I think they did need getting nerfed. I don't think people realize how not great base kit Billy is against good survivors. Like, he actually kind of gets shit on, like, a lot if he doesn't have any add-ons. Once you start throwing add-ons, then yeah, he can beat most teams pretty easily. And that's where I think the nerfs should have focused. But all this and then the overheat thing too, I don't know. I don't think he needed it. I don't think it's going to ruin him. He's still going to be a good killer, but I just don't think it was necessary. But yeah, main rant video. I don't understand these add-ons. I don't understand the pattern of add-ons that they've been making recently. I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. See ya.